What's up? Hey, hello, everyone. Wow, I think we say that every single time, but we are finally back doing doing sort of a mixture of a podcast today. We're going to talk about Michele winning last season. Then we're also going to react to the theme of Millennials versus Gen X. I am super, super excited because we are basically like 2 months late on this podcast. So my name is Rachel.
And I'm Alyssa. And in case you guys care why we didn't do a finale recap, so we had prom the Friday after, and so we tried to podcast on Thursday, but we ended up having technical difficulties. So then we had prom, and then we had a boat trip, and then we graduated, and then we just skipped 2 weeks because we were lazy. And then we had technical difficulties last week and the week before. And we almost couldn't do it tonight because technical difficulties again. But we did it.
Oh, yeah. Basically, we are a hot mess, but we are finally doing this. Like, it has been a long time coming. I am super, super excited. I am so happy to be back. And it's so crazy because Alyssa and I watched the 2-hour season finale of Survivor. Man, I don't even remember what season we're on now. Together at her house, and that's our last time watching Survivor together because we're going to college in August. So basically, that was my last time watching Survivor on the East Coast.
Yeah, so Rachel's going to the West Coast for Survivor
Yeah, of course.
college. So we're gonna have to maybe change the time of our podcast so that we can deal with the time zone changes because she's gonna be 3 hours behind. And yeah,
Yeah, I know.
basically.
Basically, Alyssa is going to spoil everything and text me being like, oh, this person got out and the prophecy points are all like jacked up now. But
The
yes,
thing is, you could totally pretend that you were a prophet with all your friends at college.
that is true. You could text me the insight and I'll be like, oh, this person is going home tonight. I just feel it coming. Yeah. Oh, man. But so we've never talked about the season finale of last season with everyone, and
I feel like there's not that much to say except for that Aubrey should have won, and I'm really disappointed.
oh yeah, I know. Right after like the we had that on film. I got it on like my Snapchat story of like us reacting to the winner when Jeff was like reading out the names, and we were like, "Holy shiznits, what just happened?"
I screamed and I cursed at least 30 individual times.
Yeah, we were like, "Holy crap!" Like it was crazy. Then right after the finale, there was like so much hate for Michele winning, and it's like we're sort of distant from it now, so we can sort of like I guess step back. And we're not 100% like this is
I'm not distant from it. I'm still pissed.
for real. I'm like I forget what this season was, TBH.
I just remember feeling really strongly that Aubrey should have won. So, yeah.
True. Yeah, I know. There's what's I gonna say? There's 3 hours. I've said 2 hours before. So 2 hours and the hour reunion, and like Sia popped up at the reunion.
I didn't think that was in very good form. You could have done that on Twitter or something instead of taking time away from a reunion show that was already shortened by the fact that the episode ran over.
That's true. And people were giving Michele so much hate, but I don't know. I feel like if you make it to final tribal council, I don't know. You sort of like most people.
It was a situation where I thought that I was okay with any of them winning until Michele won.
Yeah, I know. I feel like if you make it to final, like you deserve to be there. Like there's different kinds of gameplay, except I feel like being goaded, like it is a way of gameplay, I guess. But like I don't know if you deserve to be there then, whether like intentional or not. Like flying under the radar, is sort of like a strategy. I feel like sort of like Fabio from Nicaragua or like Sandra or Natalie. I think that sort of like those winners are really like Michele.
Yeah. And I feel like the winner kind of dropped this season in ranking for me because it was one of my favorites and then Michele won, and that ruined everything.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people were saying before, like the premiere episode, they were saying like, oh, Jeff isn't hyping this season up as much as like Second Chance because a female won. And look at you there, you know. I think this season is so similar to like Samoa or like Heroes versus Villains because, you know, in like Samoa they picked the lesser of the two evils. Like Natalie was less crazy than Russell Hand, so like she won. And I feel like maybe in this season also like Heroes versus Villains, they were sort of screwed over by the final three deal because I feel like in both seasons, this one and Heroes versus Villains, they thought it was going to be a final two, but then it ended up being a final three. And I feel like Sandra would have went home in the final three if it was a two, and then Michele would have went home there. So then, you know, and then in the end, those ones are the one that came through to win it.
I feel like it's one of those things where it's like the best player didn't exactly win, but part of it is like the nature of Survivor is that we trust the jury to choose the right player, but then also the fact that the jury was altered. Like, I think it's a cool idea in theory, but like in practice, I didn't think it was very fair.
Oh yeah,
Just
Neil
yeah.
being screwed over basically by this whole freaking game. Sort of sucky for him. I know. Like, wow. Ah, man. It was like crazy. I'm like trying to think back to it now. I'm like geeking so hard. Oh, what was I gonna say? I forget now. But yeah, no, we were like seeing it. If I was like watching some of our old podcasts earlier, and it's like we were saying like, oh, Michele really had like a breakout episode this episode, like a few episodes before the finale. So it's sort of like, dang, you know, we could see that the editors were trying to like build up her storyline. She sort of started getting more confessionals and things like that. So that sort of just like, I don't know, brought her to the front of like she could win it.
But like
Anyway,
hindsight is 2020 kind of thing. Because I also feel like Aubrey kind of got a winner's edit. Like
yeah,
they showed her story from like muling baby into like power player.
that's
But
true. Crying on the first episode to being like really good at the game, winning immunities and stuff like that. It's like crazy arc. Ah, man.
but it's done now. It's been done for a while, so
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, I guess that just sort of goes to like the different kinds of gameplays. Like maybe Aubrey didn't have as much as a social kind of game as I
Also
mean,
bitter
yeah,
jurors.
yeah.
Like
Uh,
yeah.
everyone was like angry, I guess. I know Nick didn't vote for Michele though.
I was really surprised because I thought that Debbie would have definitely voted for Aubrey and Nick definitely would have voted for Michele, but they both like flipped who I expected them to vote for.
Right. I mean, oh man. That's like who you'd think would vote for that person and then it didn't happen.
Yeah.
Man, so I
I
guess we
wish there
can
was a way we could like see when those expectations changed. Like it would
what
be nice if like jurors before they went to the final tribal council, they were like, here's where I think I'm going, and then like you could compare that with their votes to see if the final tribal council like actually changed their mind.
Yeah, I think you can watch on Survivor on CBS YouTube. They have like the jury members like each have their own video like right before tribal council. It's like before like the jury speaks or something like that. And then like they like talk out like where their head is at and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Dang. So I guess we can wrap that up. I mean, sort of bummed that we didn't do it like the week of because now we're sort of like, what even was this
I
season?
would have cursed a lot if we had done it the week of though, because I'm still like thinking about it makes me slightly angry still. And if we had done it like 2 months ago, I would have been like, F this whole show. I'm never watching this effing show ever again.
That's how we were feeling like halfway through the season. We were like, F this. Like this season is so dumb. We are done watching. I can't watch anymore. But alas, you know, you can't hate Survivor. We come back. Alas.
I mean, you could hate Survivor, but not when you podcast about
Yeah, we can't quit now. So, next season at the live reunion show, they gave us a preview for next season, and the theme is Millennials versus Gen X, which sort of is like the Nicaragua, yeah, like young versus old, but now they gave it a cooler name.
You see, I feel like this is just a bad idea in general because you know that the younger people are going to have more physically fit people and they're going to do better in challenges.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's true. I feel like it definitely helps with that sort of like age gender bias that we talked about in one of our other podcasts, because the young tribe is aged range from 18 to 31, and then old is 33 to 51. So I really feel like, I don't know, the people like in the middle of those ages, so maybe like 25 to like 45 or something, not like the youngest or like oldest will do like the best once like tribes merge, because they won't be the so gung-ho about, oh, I'm on the young team, or oh, I'm on the old team, I can't work with those stupid young people.
I feel like part of it is just since they come into this game with so many expectations about what the other people are going to be like this season is essentially built on stereotypes, let's be real here. Like,
Yeah.
the older contestants are set in their ways and unwilling to change. And the younger contestants are unmotivated, but they're super open-minded. And it's like the people who defy what their age group is supposed to be aren't going to do very well. And it's like, I think we talked about this a little when ALYSSA was voted off of this past season, where having these like themed seasons kind of screws people over because if they don't fit into the preconceived notions that people already have going into the seasons, then they're not going to do as well.
Yeah, that is really true. That's why I feel like the people in the middle ages are gonna do worse, like at the beginning when the tribes are still separate, because the old people will want to like talk and like just like be doing whatever they want to do, and like the really young people won't want to like the what's the age? So the 18-year-olds aren't want to gonna like hang out with a 31-year-old on the young tribe. Like that is a huge age difference. So I feel like just like that, the those kind of ages is not gonna be good for the millennials versus Gen X theme, when you aren't going to like fit into the stereotype like you were saying. And then I feel like really like a certain age where like being too young or too old does become sort of like dead weight, or you might be goaded to the end.
I feel like this is going to be a kind of complex analogy, but when we were in our AP government classes, our
2 years ago.
government teacher told us that in the primaries, people generally vote for the people who lean very far left or very far right. So then it's like you get candidates on either extreme. But then when it comes to the general election, you want people who are more moderate because that's who's going to appeal to a wider like range of voters. And I feel like that's kind of what's going to happen here, where like the young tribe is going to want to keep the really young people and the old tribe is going to want to keep the really old people. But then when they merge, it's going to be like, oh, the people who are closer in age to the middle are going to be doing better because they're going to be able to connect with both sides better.
Yo, yeah. See, that's exactly what I was thinking. Just put in a nice AP government analogy. And yeah, I feel that like you were saying, in the elections, you do in the primaries, it's like far left or far right, because the people in the middle, like the independents, they're not voting. So, you know, you can't really have that balance. So, yeah, with that, I mean, all of like these stereotypes, like we were saying, the disses that the old and young people are going to say this season is going to get hella annoying.
I feel like what we saw in the preview of the characters, well, people who are also characters, which is a totally different discussion for a different time, but I feel like they're kind of purposefully stereotyped as well. Like, you have that one millennial who has to be super edgy, be like, or you have that one person who's like super edgy, like, I don't do social media, but I'm still on Twitter. Like,
No, yeah, definitely casting is aiming to get people that fit those stereotypes, quirky people. Like, that's why when people were complaining about last season, they were like, oh, you know, some of these girls, like, all look the same. They all sort of are the same age. They all, like, act the same. Like, why would casting put them all on the same season? So it's like this, everyone, they got, I don't know, they need crazy people to make the show interesting.
yeah. Like, you always need that one personality that, like, unites people or divides people. Because, like, obviously, conflict is the source of their show. So,
Yeah, low key, like on The Bachelorette this season, Chad was like really crazy. And I feel like there's no way someone is that crazy in real life. I feel like people are planted on that show to cause drama to make it more interesting. So they want in Survivor to cast people that'll cause drama, make big moves, and like make the show interesting, or else people aren't going to watch it.
I watched The Bachelorette for the first time last week, and me and my sister binge watched like 6 episodes. And it's like, how do some of these people like think like this?
So
But
you saw Chad?
yeah, like what the heck, Cole?
Yeah,
I also
okay.
read this really interesting, I think it was a BuzzFeed article about like 50 amazing Chad quotes, and all of them were pretty cool. But anyway, that was a digression.
Yeah, it sort of relates. So I feel like the old people, like we saw in that little short preview that was played and posted, the old people are really going to be like all the young kids. They just type it in on Google and they can get their answer. Or, you know, they don't have a plan in life. They've never been tested. They've never
Back
been
in
knocked
my
down.
day.
And they don't know how to get up and fight for what they want.
Yeah, I feel like it's just gonna be like really horrible stereotyping. And then the people who are most successful will be the people who are willing to look past those stereotypes and see that like there are individual people.
Yeah, I feel that people that are going to do well this season are people that won't be so gung ho about millennials versus Gen X. You don't want those clicky people that only hang out with millennials or only hang out with like the older people, but you definitely want someone that is like, I'm here to play this game. I don't care if you're young. I don't care if you're old. I'm here to make my squad and I'm here to vote you guys out.
Yeah. So I think there's not that much more we can say since the preview clip was pretty short.
Yeah, I mean, more disses. The young people are like brainwashed. They should grow up. They are all like addicted to social media. And I mean, like, hopefully these people have some nice talking points to talk about on the island, or else they are going to have some problems if they cannot like survive on their own and whatnot.
Yeah. So if you guys have any opinions about this, please feel free to put them in the comments just because we'd really like to hear what you guys think about it because obviously we're pretty young, so I think we might be naturally biased towards one side. And if any of you are older or if you are younger and you still just like want to give your opinion, go ahead.
Yeah, I know. I think like it's interesting. I spent a lot of time like with like older people on the board of education. So I don't know. It's like cool to see both sides. And we're back. We definitely want to hear what you guys have to say about millennials versus Gen X. And you should definitely go and watch our last post. It was a Survivor themed promposal video for Alyssa's sister who won the prophecy points. So she's just winning everything, winning the prom date, winning prophecy points. Next season, we are going to do cascading people that we're going to switch off every time we
I
pick. So,
actually saw something about the most fair way to split
okay.
stuff. I'll send it to you.
Okay, that is good. So next time we podcast, whether it be this weekend or next Wednesday is today. No, today's Wednesday. We are going to be reacting to the season 34 cast because there was a picture on Instagram that had like the cast and it had like Sierra and like Malcolm and like all these people that have played before, and like Sandra, and we have a lot to talk about with this cast. Alyssa. Man, I think she is frozen. So, thank you guys so much for watching. We will see you guys next time, and we are super, super, super excited to be back and cannot wait for season 33. So, peace out.
Okay. Internet. But we're all good now. So thank you for watching these podcasts. Sorry for the weird blip at the end. Love you. See you next week. Bye.